everybody. It's Allie. And welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, July 9th, 2023. Flowers and diamond earrings? Damn! Kyle sent Audra flowers and diamond earrings after the first time they had sex? What a gift! She must be good. To get diamond earrings the first time, she must be real good. He was immediately asking for more. The very next day, he ran into her and he was like, so can we get some more? Kyle, you need to play it a little bit cooler. Like, Audra is in control. Kyle is coming off as a little bit puppy dog lame here. Kyle, you need to pull it back a little bit, play a little bit harder to get. Oh, but Audra is perfect. Audra is the most fascinating, exciting thing about Y&R right now. And she has just hit the jackpot. She's got a rich boyfriend. She is the CEO of Newman Media. I mean, this is Audra's week. She is on top of the world. Finally, all of the work that she's been doing in this town has paid off in dividends and diamonds. I'm so proud of her. Summer saw the flowers and the jewelry box because Audra opened it in the middle of the lobby of the the Athletic Club Hotel. They did not deliver it up to her hotel room. The clerk just placed the flowers into her arms right in front of the revolving door like she was Miss America or something. All she needed was a crown to complete the look. I mean, it says it all right there. Audra, the flowers, the jewels. That's the whole week in a one screen cap right there. It's Audra, the flowers, the jewels. Summer saw the whole thing, but did not know who the flowers were from, which is interesting. It has to be that Summer will eventually find out. She's eventually going to see those charges on Kyle's account, and she should be able to because they're still married. The word divorce hasn't even been mentioned yet. They're separated. I don't even know why we're beating around the bush at this point. Kyle has mostly emotionally and physically moved on. Summer has moved into the Heartbreak Hotel. Harrison was told that Mommy is leaving. Did you have any questions, little Harrison? Mommy's leaving forever. Did you have any questions about any of that? No? Okay. Not a word? Okay. That's exactly the breed of soap opera child that I like. Any questions? Nope. Moving on. And on top of it all, Kyle is probably about ready to take a job offer from Audra at Newman Media. He's going to be working every day with his new girlfriend, who he is sleeping with, obviously. So I think that calling it a separation is a little disingenuous, don't you think? Come on, Kyle. You don't get to have revenge sex and keep your wife on the back burner, Kyle. Everything about Kyle and Audra is fun for me right now. I see it as more of a temporary fling, but it's a fun temporary fling. The only thing that is a problem for me right now, in terms of the story, is that I am basically completely uninterested in Newman Media. I can't help it. Newman Media, they don't do anything. Nothing ever happens. Nobody really even works there. When was the last time we saw The Office? And if we do see an office, it'll just be Audra and Kyle battling Phantom Adam while the desk just becomes a prop for Kyle and Audra to have sex on, in the same way that Victor's desk is a prop for Victoria and Nate to have sex on. And I guess it's always been that way, and I love desk sex as much as the next girl, but can we get some plot in here too? It is all talk. Talk about some kind of war that's brewing. Talk, war. And nothing ever happens. It's been weeks of this. Nothing happens. Victor warned Audra this week that Adam is coming for Newman Media. How exactly? When exactly? And can we get to it? Because I really like the idea of Adam and Audra going head to head. If there's something tangible in there for them to fight over. Like, I need to get into it as the audience. I need to understand what's going on, not just have an in-theory battle going on between them. Adam had a great run-in with Audra, and it was full of all of the juicy, soapy, dripping, potential of like a rivalry turned sexual relationship. Everything was in there. And that's ultimately what I want. Adam and Audra. I think that is a great, explosive combination. They'd be fantastic together. But again, there is no plot to give anything here, any kind of momentum. I don't know if this has to do with the writer's strike or what's going on. I mean, we're definitely seeing more flashbacks, but it just feels like the plot here is lagging. And Newman Enterprises has the exact same problem. Nikki and Victor are talking about how worried they are about Adam and Victoria going to war. I'm like, I haven't even seen Adam and Victoria in a scene together in weeks. Where is the war? I see nothing. Maybe the saving grace of the plot will be, of all people, Sharon. I would not have seen this coming. Of all people, Sharon. Well, let's back up, because this week, Sharon burned Cameron's belongings. Even Frankie the dog. Ashes to ashes. Let there be no more evidence of this evil man. We are going to light a match, put down some lighter fluid, and just burn all remnants of Cameron Kirsten right here in our little wastebasket. Well, the only thing that they didn't burn, though, was the company papers. Kirsten Incorporated. This is Sharon's real gift from beyond from her stalker. She's interested in the company. I'm sure she's going to change the Kirsten Incorporated. That's got to go away sooner rather than later. Probably when Sharon decides to turn this into a do-gooding venture. That's what she says. Sharon says she wants to help people with the new company that she has inherited. And as soon as she gets that out of her system, I'm sure she can go ahead and sell it to Adam or partner with Adam. I don't know. We saw that little bit in the previews where she's certainly approaching him. And I'm sure one way or another it will be used as a tool to go to this phantom war with Victoria. I mean, okay, but is there any chance we could see an office? Is there any chance we could see some letterhead or something? Wow, it did not even occur to me that Lily would be the one to take over Devon's penthouse. That is perfect. She'll be right across the hall from Nate, so she can get judgy on him on a daily basis, which is, I think, what she really wants. I mean, what is so wrong with Nate being an executive and dating the boss's daughter? who's also a boss. I mean, Lily did the exact same thing. Lily had the CEO job while she was dating the boss's son. Jill was the boss. Billy was her son. I failed to see the difference between what Lily did and what Nate is doing. I guess maybe Nate is just a little more obvious about what he wants. I'm sure that Lily will continue to criticize him now that she is his neighbor, even though they both kind of want the same thing and they're both kind of doing all the same things. I don't know. I really thought that the penthouse set would go to Nick or Adam, because I just keep thinking, oh, one of those guys needs a house. Or I love Victoria's house, but she needs a place to live. I think maybe that's one of the things that's bugging me about Newman right now. There is only Victor's office, and I love Victor's office. It's like one of my favorite sets, but that's all it is. No Newmans have a home. The Abbotts have a home. The Winters now have 2 homes. I mean, we're going to have the Chancellor Mansion with Abby and Devon and Lily in the penthouse. Like, someone with the last name Newman needs an actual home. Okay, Sharon's kind of a Newman, but she's not married to one. Her house is technically on ranch property, but she has Swiss neutrality. She's sort of her own country. And now apparently Chance just rented an apartment, but forget about ever seeing that. Forget about him ever taking Sharon there. I mean, Chance and Sharon are not happening. Anybody who was looking forward to that, just forget it. Chance and Sharon are not happening. Chance's apartment will never be seen. He will be getting it on with Summer at the hotel after Summer finds out that Kyle had the affair, then she can have the affair with Chance. And they're probably only calling it a separation so that they can easily get back together afterwards. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Is there anybody else who could move in with Abby and Devon to fill out the Chance Manch a little bit more? We need some people coming and going from that place. Like in the same way that all of the Abbotts live at the Abbott house. Can we get together everyone who's connected to Catherine and force them to live in the Chance Manch? And then also everyone who's connected to Victor, can we get them together and force them to live at the ranch? Chloe came back this week to check on her besties, Chelsea and Sally. Both of them have got some stuff going on, and Chloe's there for support. Chelsea's got a new job offer from Summer to mull over. It would be the offer is for Chelsea to become the creative director of Marchetti. She would be taking over Summer's old spot, while Summer takes over for Kyle in the CEO, I guess it was, position. So I'm thinking Chelsea's going to take this job, right? She's going to take the job. It'll probably require her to go out of town for a couple of weeks, since I think Melissa Claire Egan is pregnant, right? And she's probably going to want to go out on maternity leave soon. She's probably not just going to have the baby on set. So she's probably going to need to be gone for a couple of weeks. So putting her at Marchetti would, explain that absence. But it would also put Chelsea under the same working roof as Billy when she gets back. So that could be interesting. And then also Chloe paid a visit to Sally and was really very supportive of her. I liked Chloe talking about the loss of a child. That is certainly something that Chloe knows very intimately and was able to talk to Sally about. And I liked that Chloe told Sally that it's not a betrayal of your daughter's memory to be happy, to start trying to live again. And Sally, as a result of that conversation, is trying to dip her toes back into the work waters a little bit. She has taken her time for the physical recovery, but of course the emotional recovery is going to take some more time, so taking it easy is the right step. slid a note underneath Sally's hotel room door, just wanting to express some things to her, just wanting to grieve with her, really, just wanting to grieve with the only other person who really understands the loss. And Sally tossed it into the trash before she even read it. It's cruel. It's really becoming quite cruel. I think it would be nice if Sally could just open her eyes. It's like she's just got this wall up. She's blocked so hard where it comes to Adam, and her eyes are just closed tighter, 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 and she just refuses to look at the fact that he's just another human being grieving the exact same thing that she is. I would like for Sally to realize that she isn't the only one who experienced this loss. I think bonding with Adam and opening herself up to that would probably be very healing for them both. It doesn't have to lead to some kind of romantic relationship if that's what she's worried about. I mean, Sally seemed to understand that she had kind of an irrational reaction when it came to Nick's absence on the night of her miscarriage, and she apologized to Nick a little bit for that, or she backpedaled saying, I know you understand you had places to be. So why not try to make an effort to understand where Adam's coming from? Why not try to see things from his point of view? I feel like I'm putting this triangle to bed for good in my mind. I mean, I don't even want to continue to see Nick and Adam tiptoeing around Sally for the next few months. It's totally unappealing to me. First, Sally trashes Adam's letter without even reading it, and then Nick brings her this very thoughtful gift of the hot sauce for the girl who loves hot sauce, and she ended up kicking him out of her room for daring to talk about what's going on in his life with his brother. I'm sorry, Sally, but that's what you get for dating brothers. You don't get to date one after dating the other and then just make the other one disappear. And if the relationship between Sally and Nick is equal, then Nick should be able to talk about the fact that Victor asked him to go work with Adam this week. And it sounds like Nick kind of wants to. At least Sharon was willing to listen to Nick and pour him a delicious-looking glass of raspberry lemonade. And then maybe later Sharon can also take Nick to the pool, take him out for some ice cream, and then take him home, tuck him in bed at night, because he's all tuckered out from battling that psycho that came into their lives unexpectedly and kidnapped their daughter and somehow got him fired from his job. Doesn't Nick deserve a little sympathy too? Tucker McCall's impression of Jack Abbott has got to be my favorite moment of the week. He was eerily good at it. I got the feeling that the first take wasn't quite right. Like, he wasn't quite nailing it. He had his eyes closed, and he was trying really hard to channel the Jack Abbott, but I was getting the impression that, you know, he wasn't feeling like he was nailing it. It's hard to do an impression right on the spot. That doesn't always work. So we had the first take, then we cut to commercial, and then we came back, and the impression was much more nail on the head. I like it. I like that we are giving Trevor St. John some space to do his comedic thing, and it is really working. I mean, you don't need writers for that. Let him do a little impromptu comedic work right there. I think it's great, and it works especially right next to Ashley, who, like, Ashley's so tight. And she just needs the loosening up. And I feel like he is the perfect yin to her yang, you know? And now they're going to have a whole new company to fight Jabot with. Yay! Another company! You guys, I love companies. You know, business storylines are my favorite, and I love companies. But this is too many companies. And we never see any of them. And none of them do anything except threaten war on each other that never materializes. Gee, maybe Jack and Diane should start their own company now in retaliation, too. Consider the gauntlet thrown. That was our quote from last week. It works pretty much anywhere. I could use that quote anywhere. Consider the gauntlet thrown. Actually, it was Lauren who said that. She was talking to Michael, challenging him to get Phyllis out of trouble. That must have been a hard one because not very many people guessed it right. So I got to give extra big, huge congrats to Henry, Ron, Juanita, and good old Marky. You guys guessed it right. Congratulations. Here's another one. Let's see if you get this. No such thing as karma, I guess. Who said it? We always have a lot of talk about karma on this show, don't we? No such thing as karma, I guess. Who do you think said that? If you know, go to yrchat.com. You can leave your guess there. And if you get it right, I will give you your shout out during next week's Y&R Chat. All right, let's see what kind of comments we got this week. Starting out with Tina B, who says, I do believe that Kyle may be a bit smitten, or there could be a few other terms for what he's feeling. I see a new co-CEO position opportunity open up. The stages are being set. Newman Media versus McCall, Jabot versus Ashley and Tucker's company, who goes to Marchetti, where will Chancellor Winters and Omega Sphere end up, and what the hell kind of company did Cameron have? What will Sharon do with that company? Will Sharon become a power player? Things are getting interesting. I want things to get interesting. It's like, you're right, all the pieces are there. There's a lot of pieces. There's not a lot of plot moving between them. I mean, it's like, I want it to get interesting. It almost seems like it should be getting interesting, but I'm starting to get lost, not get interested. There's just so many companies, I don't know who to work for. I don't know who to root for. I don't really know what is going on with any of them. But on that note, you know what? I thought, we got so many dang companies in this town right now. There has got to be some kind of hiring spree. The unemployment rate is very low in Genoa City right now. Everybody's got to get a job. So I thought maybe a fun poll question for us this week is, what do you think would be the best corporation to work for in Genoa City? Not talking about like the coffee house and the hotel and stuff like that. I'm talking about these conglomerates. If you had to go work at one of the major conglomerates, which one would you pick? We've got Newman Enterprises and Newman Media. We've got McCall Unlimited. We've got, I don't know, I guess probably the Kirsten Incorporated thing will end up going in with McCall, so I'll leave that with McCall. We've got Jabot Marchetti. We've got Ashley and Tucker's new company. Chancellor Winters and Omega Sphere, too. I think I would want to go work at Omega Sphere. I mean, it's kind of disappeared. But I think that would be the hippest and coolest place to go work with. I'd probably go to Chancellor Winters if I had to. I feel like I could get along fairly well with Lily and Devon. So I'll go work at Chancellor Winters and swing by Omega Sphere, and I'll be hanging out at Daniel's desk as much as possible. But it's so many darn companies. My goodness. And when are we going to rename the McCall Unlimited? It's McCall Unlimited, but Tucker doesn't run it. Tucker doesn't have anything to do with it. Adam needs to put renaming that company really high on his list. But go to yrchat.com if you'd like to vote for which corporation do you think you would most like to work for, and we'll tally it up next week and see which seems like the best place to work in Genoa City. Speaking of polls, last week I asked you guys, Kyle and Audra, hot or not? Drum roll, please. The majority of Y&R chatters think Kyle and Audra are hot. 58% to 42%. I kind of almost would have thought that would have been a bigger gap. 58-42 isn't a slam dunk, but Tony says, oh, they're hot. Audra is one of those hot with anyone characters, much like Phyllis. Name Audra as the half of any couple and imagine the hotness. Yeah, that's true. It really is. Do you see the way she's constantly biting her lower lip? It's actually a little bit irritating. She's so hot, it's irritating. That's her go-to I'm sexy move, is biting the bottom lip. And it's like, okay, I get it. I get it, sex kitten. Meow. But she is hot. There's no denying. There is no denying the hotness. Ron says, between the flip-flopping all over the bed, Audra's head hanging over the edge momentarily, and clothes flying, what more could you ask for? Regardless of it being right or wrong, it was hot. I wonder if that's where the not hot vote came in. That it's more about, well, it's wrong. Wrong, but hot. Robbie says, definitely vote hot. Audra is the best there is right now. She is so unapologetic about going after exactly what she wants. You know, Audra is the best there is right now. She's the hottest. She's the best. And I like that she is unapologetic about what she wants. She goes for it. The only thing that I think she is really, that's a blind spot for her, is the fact that it's a temporary CEO position that's really kind of boosting her ego and really propelling her to this new height. This is a position that's supposed to be only temporarily, and yet she is treating it as if she is planning to be there for the long haul. Sherrod voted that Kyle and Audra are hot. Well, because they are. But I don't want them to become a couple, even though it seems that Kyle might. I want Audra with Adam. So maybe we'll get a triangle with Adam, Audra, Kyle. That would be juicy, especially since Kyle went after Adam to get him fired from Jabot. Real enemies and not brothers after the same woman. Oh, yeah. Audra, Adam, Kyle, not just brothers after the same woman, they're rivals after the same woman. And it does kind of seem like Y&R's pitting that, because they wanted to make Adam and Kyle rivals at Jabot, and it just fizzled out big time. It just did not work, didn't go in. We never saw the rivalry that was supposed to be there. I don't even to this day understand what Kyle and Adam have to rival about. Why do they hate each other exactly? It just seems like it's one of those things that it's like, yeah, they hate each other, just accept it. But I don't remember anything major going down between them. But now that Audra has offered Kyle the job at Newman Media, Kyle has already said, well, I don't like Adam, so that would be an appealing part of it. So we are building up that rivalry there, and I think you're making a good point, a good argument that an Audra, Adam, Kyle triangle would be very interesting. Kamna says, I'm all in for some sexy secret skulking around by Kyle and Audra. I don't want them to be a couple, but a hot summer affair, complete with showers, flowers, and jewels. Yes, please. Kamna, showers, flowers, and jewels. Yes. I know. I do like the lavish gift. It's a little soon, right? After the first time, I think I would be a little like, red flag, diamonds after one time. I mean, I would accept them, of course. But that would be a red flag to me. Tina B says, sparkly is my favorite color. Quote. It's mine too, Audra. And so is shiny. Yes, sparkly and shiny. But the best colors. Naomi also loved that line, saying it's a great line, Tina, and worth your addition of shiny as a favorite. I was relieved that Audra accepted the earrings. She's not temperamental so far, except about keeping her private life private. Summer and Lola usually kept Kyle in the doghouse about something. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, Audra she's kind of given Kyle the space. She accepted the gift. She's not demanding anything of him. She's not temperamental. I'm glad she accepted the earrings. And I thought it was interesting that he seems to be okay with flaunting the relationship. I mean, anyone who walked up to their table at the athletic club on Friday would have guessed the body language that was going on between them. I mean, and they were like, we're going to go up to the room separately. But I mean, it was pretty clear that there was some sexual chemistry going on between them just sitting at the table. But Audra says, I want to keep my private life private. I am not trying to flaunt this all over town. You would think that Kyle would be the one saying that. You would think he would have some level of trepidation about being caught on the town with another woman when he's still married. I mean, even when he was on the phone with the guy ordering the flowers and the jewels, he looked like a teenage boy, like he didn't think he was doing anything wrong. I've not once got any sense from Kyle that he feels regret at all, that he thinks he's doing anything wrong at all. He seems to feel totally justified, totally like green light on this decision that he's made to carry on with an affair with Audra, which begs the question, does Kyle want to get caught? Gary asks another good question. Is Kyle in love with Audra Charles? He talks so intimately and nicely with her. Were she a real woman over a witch, she would not like to be used by him. She might put a hex on him. But the modern, brilliant businesswoman is not a victim, and she is using him just as he is using her. How? Unclear to me now. I can only guess. Oh, well, Gary, first of all, she's a vampire, not a witch. Don't get confused. They're a little different, but she is a vampire. But I love the question. Okay, so is Kyle in love with her? Because he really does, as you say, he talks intimately with her. He is close with her. He seems considerate of her feelings. He seems comfortable talking about his feelings. He doesn't know her very well. There's like this instant rapport that goes on between them that is more than just sex. It feels tender. I guess the other question that you're asking is are they using each other? I mean, is Kyle in love with her, or is he using her to get back at Summer? Is Audra using Kyle for some purpose? I mean, she offered him the job, but that seems like a straight deal there. You know, what is it between them? It's a good question. Dolores says Kyle is becoming a cad. That one night with Audra was to him awesome enough to send flowers and diamonds, and he charged us to his account. He's definitely showing that he's making a break from Summer, his marriage, and has also found a way to hurt her non-verbally. Summer will probably see the bill, the diamond earrings not sent or given to her, or Audra will possibly slither up to her with a faux friendly greeting wearing the earrings when Summer finds out where they did go. Kyle and Jack, these Abbottmans, are in for some really sad bad times with these unsavory women, Audra and Diane. I wonder how Mariah will feel or think about the coupling of Kyle with Audra, since she knows about her history with Noah. Not liking Summer for Kyle. Well, here's Miss Audra. Yeah, no kidding. Mariah didn't like him with Summer. Well, here's Miss Audra, who also dated your brother. But yeah, I think this is interesting. Kyle found a way to hurt Summer non-verbally. And he just doesn't, I don't see the remorse at all. It's like he's just totally okay with what he's doing. Yeah, that's the part that makes it not hot, where it's just like, okay, Kyle, you are keeping Summer on a string. You just want to keep her around on the back burner just in case, and you're just going to go out and really flamboyantly go out and just screw around on her? That is wrong. I mean, hot, yes, but wrong, yes, If you have no intention of getting back together with Summer, if you feel like you will never be able to forgive Summer, then break up with Summer. Why would you go to the trouble of telling Harrison that you're getting a separation? Just tell him just get the divorce then. It seems like Kyle knows what he wants, and he's just, like you say, being a cat about it. Next up, Ellen asks, Allie, can you coach us regarding Audra's question for Victor? She pointed out that he owns both Newman Media and McCall. So what's Victor's angle since he knows Adam and Victoria are planning to go battling against each other? Adam wants McCall to trim down to a media-only business and take over Newman Media. Victoria plans to fight that with all her Newman Enterprises resources. How does that make sense? A cage match with the same corporate umbrella, essentially? I'm confused. Audra asked a good question and got shut down. Yeah, I mean, she did. She was like, okay, well, wait a minute. So you know this is happening. You own both companies and you're not going to shut it down? And then Victor shut her down and said, you don't get to question my intentions. You don't get to know my end game. It doesn't make any sense. It basically makes no sense. I think that my understanding of it is that Newman Enterprises and Newman Media, that is under one umbrella, which Victor owns. McCall Unlimited is under a different umbrella, which Victor owns. So he owns both companies, but they're not affiliated with, the two companies are not affiliated with one another. But at the end of the day, Victor's the owner. He could pull in the reins on Victoria. He could pull in the reins on Adam. He could put a stop to this at any point. Instead, in true Victor form, he's just fueling the fire. What does Victor want? I mean, that's a good question. He's warning Audra, he's warning Adam, but he's not doing anything about it. So what does Victor want? He doesn't want to interfere with letting his kids run the companies, but he doesn't want the kids to destroy each other with them, or maybe he does. Daisy says, I don't think Victor was actually warning Adam. I think he said that to see if Adam will do what Victor himself would do, which is overtake the company that he wants and fulfill his vision. And I think he did something similar with Nick to bring the brothers closer together. Victor's dream is for his sons to work together as co-CEOs of Newman's. Also, when Adam does take over Newman Media, I think Victor will shed a tear over how proud he is, believing the company is with its rightful owner. That's a great question. That's a great point, Daisy. At the end of the day, who does Victor want to run the company? If Victor had his pick of children to run the whole empire, who is the number one child? It probably is Adam. In some ways, I think Victor kind of begrudgingly handed everything over to Victoria. I think Victor really wanted it to be Adam. Great question. Great point of view. Well, Diana says, I really like the idea of Adam and Nick working together and going up against Victoria. I also look forward to Nick and Adam finally bonding together as brothers. As I mentioned before, it's time for Victoria to become the black sheep of the family, as this role is very fitting to her and her cold personality. I was also very happy and pleasantly surprised when Sharon offered to join forces with Adam. That was definitely unexpected. I really hope this means that we're not headed for a Sharon and Nick reunion. Sorry, Allie. As I have wanted to see Sharon and Adam reunite for some time now. Looking forward to so many of these new storylines that Y&R has planned. Sharon is just, she has come totally right out of left field. I'm totally confused by all of her reactions to Adam. I mean, so Sharon's at the coffee house this week, pouring out the lemonades and the coffees and all that. Adam comes in through the door, and she is so cold with him. She looks at him like, as if they had recently had an argument. I mean, there was the weirdness at the cottage where he dared come over late that night. I mean, but still, like, Sharon, the last time I checked in on Sharon's feelings for Adam, she had an enormous amount of empathy for him. She wanted him to succeed. Sharon has at points been the only one in Adam's corner. Where did the animosity toward Adam come from? And then you compare that with, like, when Nick came in to get his drink and she was all like, hey, Nick, man, we're best buddies. So I guess it's a what have you done for me lately sort of situation. I mean, Nick saved the day. He's the hero. Adam dared to knock on Sharon's door. He's the villain. So it's an interesting dynamic there. It is going to be interesting to see Nick and Adam working together as brothers. I think that's pretty much set in stone. It's going to happen. I'm all for that. I like Adam and Nick together as brothers battling against Victoria, as you said. And the question is, where's the reunion going to be? Are we headed toward a Nick and Sharon, or are we headed toward Sharon and Adam? You just never know. Here's a great question from Ellen, who says, who lights a fire in a bucket in their living room? What kind of therapist doesn't recognize she should see a therapist herself? Yeah, maybe she's just so close to the situation she can't see it. But yeah, lighting the fire right in the middle of your living room. Great idea. I also loved how Nick conspicuously had the bottle of lighter fluid in his back pocket. Like, it was, they went away and came back to commercial, and they were standing there putting the stuff in the bucket, and Nick had the lighter fluid like tucked into his pants waistband with his shirt over it, like he had it hidden or something. I'm gonna hide this lighter fluid back here, and then I'm just gonna bust it out when it's time. Yeah, I mean, and you probably really wouldn't even have needed the lighter fluid. Wow, that's gonna be a lot of smoke. Did they pull down the smoke detectors before they did that? It was ill-advised, but beautiful for dramatic purposes. Beautiful on screen. I got a couple of screen caps of the fire. I thought it looked really nice, but yes, insane. Needing of therapy. Daisy says, I didn't think Sharon would want to have anything to do with Cameron's company, but it looked like Adam and Sharon might be working together, and that might mean that they'll work as a united front to take over Newman Media. Their new company will undoubtedly bring new storylines. Yeah, but how do we get from Sharon saying that she wants to use Cameron's company to do good to now approaching Adam to where she knows Adam has an agenda of going to war with Victoria? I think Nick told her all about that Victor wants Nick to work with Adams because of this. And Sharon knows this, and she still is going to now throw in with a company that she knows is being used to go to war. I mean, what happened to the do-gooding that she wanted to do? We'll find that out. You know, I mean, I'm in the U.S. I haven't seen Monday's episode yet, so maybe Sharon will explain it and make it all make sense. But Sue W. says, it's hard to think of Sharon climbing the corporate ladder, right? But it would be good to start seeing her shake out all of her all-wise, all-calm Angel of Genoa City coma. Sometimes Sharon's soothing demeanor starts zoning me out. At any rate, it's going to be fun to see where all the company twists and turns go. My non-business brain is already scrambled trying to keep up with the current doings. There's no doings. There's no doings. It's just companies. That's why your brain is scrambled. Because I feel that way too. There's no doings. And you're right. It's sort of odd to think of Sharon getting involved in all of that, especially when she's like, I want to do good in the world, so I'm going to go work at a warring company. Makes no sense. And I hope we don't lose Sharon's softness. I kind of like the Angel of Genoa City. The all-wise, all-calm part maybe was getting a little old, but I hope Sharon doesn't lose her softness in all of that. The way we're seeing her look at Adam, it is like, what's going on with you, Sharon? You've got this seriousness about you now. The Cameron Kirsten thing has changed her. Robin says the one mystery is Sharon's new company. It would be perfect for Nick's humanitarian expertise to be co-CEO. Nick will be attracted to the new high roller businesswoman Sharon, and maybe Nick will not work for Adam, but just be a good brother to him and bond. Their hug a few weeks ago was my favorite quick scene in 49 years of Y&R. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was powerful. It was wonderful. Maybe Sharon's going to offer her company to Adam and ask that Nick be the one to run it. That way, Nick and Adam aren't battling over control of the same thing. Maybe Sharon gives her company over to Adam and asks that Nick run it, so that now Nick is running something new, but that is under the same umbrella, and that they can somehow be like co-CEO. I guess that's it. That's probably it. She's going to stipulate that Nick needs to be the one to run it. But yeah, it was like, where's Nick's new hope? Like, he is the perfect guy, because he's the one, I mean, he's probably the first one that wanted to step out of the corporate game and start a company that was supposed to do good. So yeah, he would be the perfect person to carry out Sharon's vision for Another company. Another one. Victoria says Adam doesn't get credit for how generous he's been the past few years. Victor's attempt to gain Nick's sympathy for Adam was unconvincing. Victor implied that Adam still has a dark personality that is capable of change. Seriously? Writers, this isn't true, and maybe giving Adam credit and a place in the Newman family might be more interesting than always painting him as the bad seed. Jeez. Yeah, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. The way we see Adam act now does not fit with the way everyone talks about him. Like, he was bad 20 years ago. It's been 20 years since he's been a bad seed. Catch up. Oh, but Sharon says, I could identify with Adam when he said, it really wasn't a whipped cream kind of day. It really wasn't a whipped cream type of day. Yeah, I know, right? I feel that too. Some days, he ordered like a triple or something. And then Sharon said, you want whipped cream with that? And he said, this is not a whipped cream day, Sharon. Yeah, that is very relatable. Some days you feel like a whipped cream and some days you just know it's not. I'm not, like, I'm apparently the bad seed of Genoa City. I'm not going to stand here with whipped cream on my mustache. Okay, Sharon, just give me the coffee. Oh, well, Tina B says, very touching letter from Adam, which I'm sure was his intent. I did notice how fast Sally pulled that letter out of the trash can as soon as Nick left. I just wanted to smack her like Cher slapped Nicolas Cage in Moonstruck. Snap out of it! Oh my gosh, so good. First of all, wow, she did go for the letter immediately after Nick left. You might be right there. Maybe she just wanted Nick out of the way so she could read the letter. Like, she heard everything Nick had to say about Adam, and she had to go read and find out for herself. Maybe she wants him to want her. Maybe as much as she hates it, she loves that he wants her. But I love your Moonstruck reference here. Oh, Moonstruck, such a good movie. It hasn't even been, I think it's only been within the last couple of years I've seen that. Everybody's so good. Dang, Cher is good. Cher's good in Mask. Cher's good. She's good in Moonstruck. I like Cher a lot. Nicolas Cage was good. Olympia Dukakis. Oh my gosh, Danny Aiello. That's a great movie. That's a good one to watch this weekend if you got any spare time tonight. Moonstruck. Wow, Gary says, Sally's well aware of how much Adam loved the baby, and her treatment of him is ugly. So Sally's wild for Nick and doesn't like Adam because once upon a time he broke up with her. Sure, Sally has to watch the Hearts and Flowers with Adam, lest he get the wrong idea, but there is something called exerting a little kindness, especially since Sally completely understands the sad psychology of Adam. In watching today's episode, I have to be real and say I get Sally's attraction to Nick, as he is a wonderful partner, actually, who she can really talk to, almost as if he were Adam. There is only the little issue of soulmates to be considered. How important is all that, really? I didn't like the way Sally said something about, well, Adam's always there wanting you to fix him. Or she said something about fixing him, and it's like, no, no. And I would say, yes, of course it makes sense to why Sally is attracted to Nick. I mean, he is a wonderful partner. But what's she done lately? Because as far as I'm starting to see, it's all Nick doing the supporting. He supported her. He stayed with her. He tolerated the whole thing with her pregnancy. Like, Nick's awesome. And then the second he needs to talk about something that's going on with his life, she kicks him out. I think that's why I'm over it. It's not the guys at this point. It's Sally. Sally's the problem at this point, if you ask me. Well, Tina says, Tucker imitating Jack was a treat. Ashley actually shushed him, and then Jack literally went to society and hollered the same thing Tucker was saying. Yeah, it was foreshadowing. That was a perfect scene. It just worked out perfectly. And I liked the whole 5 stages of grief thing, or is it 7? I don't know how many stages of grief there was, but I liked that tie-in and Tucker's final line of saying, well, Jack, you might want to move toward acceptance, and then just like walked off. Yes, that was a very tight, well done, fun, entertaining scene. Sherrod says, oh, and this is good. Sherrod says, Jack just made the stupidest choice, but the most obvious story plot device I have ever seen in daytime. Keeping Summer and causing Kyle to quit just guaranteed that Ashley can get him kicked out as CEO of Jabot. Because when the voting is done, Summer will be siding with Ashley. She hates Diane, which is why Kyle's doing the right thing in separating and soon divorcing her. Sherrod, why didn't I see this myself? You're so right. Forcing Kyle out of the Marchetti, and therefore him choosing to leave the Jabot, just guarantees that Jack lost a vote. That's all he did. He just let a board vote walk out the door. You're so right. Score 1 for Ashley. Wow. Well, hey, how about this? Diana says, I enjoyed the classic episode for the 4th of July holiday. What was most enjoyable was the sets we saw that were much more realistic than the ones we see today. John Abbott was drinking coffee in his kitchen while Mamie was preparing a huge veggie platter. We saw Tracy and Brad in their huge bedroom. Nowadays, it's all hotel rooms or very tiny bedroom sets where we only see the bed. We saw characters at their workplace, which we rarely see now. Everyone is always spending their time in restaurants and cafes, but we also saw the Abbott's backyard, where we saw the pool and the large patio with a table full of food. We also saw John Abbott actually calling people and talking on the phone. A lot of the times these characters now just show up at the person's home or workplace without even knowing if they'll be there. All of these things made the characters' lives seem so much more realistic. I did not get to see the classic episode. And I am bitter about it. I think it's influencing my whole attitude this week. I am a Paramount Plus subscriber. Okay, so I pay to be able to get Paramount Plus so that I can watch Y&R with no commercials and not have to record it and move the file from my TV to my computer and the whole thing. It's much more convenient for me since I'm usually on a deadline. So I've got my Paramount Plus, and it was not easy for me to accept that, by the way. I don't like to pay for things. But I did, and Paramount Plus subscribers did not get the classic episode. I looked the night of. I'm like, okay, well, where's my classic? I knew Tuesday was going to be a classic. I sign in. I'm ready for it. I mean, I'm a paid subscriber. Where's my classic? They don't have it. I checked on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They still did not have the classic episode. I could not believe it. So I did not get to see the fabulous sets. I did not get to see Tracy and Brad's huge bedroom. I did not get to see the veggie platter, and I did not get to see the pool set. So I'm bitter about it. I'm going to instead just continue to read your comments about it. Michelle says, I love the re-airs of old episodes. Seeing Catherine Chancer hug little Philip on the 4th was a treat, and Catherine's line gave me a new drink of choice. Quote, coffee in a glass, please. Are you telling me it was a 4th of July episode? So I didn't get to see a classic 4th of July episode with a pool. And Catherine said, coffee in a glass. I love that woman. You got to be kidding me. Did they serve it to her in the glass after that? Did she want like a iced coffee or in a glass? Who drinks coffee in a glass? That's hilarious. Ellen says, an old-timey 4th of July picnic with classic characters. John, Catherine, Rex, Jill, and Blade, the photographer. Oh, I love Blade. Nate Sr. Oh my gosh, this is killing me. Pregnant Olivia. Oh, so young Neil. Sassy Drew. That boy Ryan. And naive Nina. Beautiful Tracy. Beautiful young Tracy. Cranky Brad. And baby Colleen. Ashley, the nicer version. Mamie in red, white, and blue. Brock and Gina, Carol from The Office. Hey, that's Chance the preschooler. There goes John making a holiday toast. This is why I don't want Jack and Diane's relationship to fail. I fear Jack will end up relegated to holiday toasts and Dina's death chair without a viable relationship. Bonus, Diane, Kyle, and Harrison provide a revival of the Abbott line. Add Kyle's second wife and more kids and let the mess continue. Oh my gosh, I'm dying. I can't believe I missed all. I would have talked a whole extra hour had I seen this episode. Cranky Brad, Nate Sr., pregnant Olivia. This is killing me. And Drew, I can't. It's too much. And I'm going to have to end on Gary. This is the biggest walloper of all. Gary says, Brenda Epperson just doesn't have that nasty, snarky, iconic edge of Eileen Davidson. This watered-down Ashley was a bit of milquetoast. How dare you, Gary? That's my original Ashley, and I missed her. I didn't get to see my original Ashley. Here's something funny. So my mom apparently saved my Barbie dolls from when I was a kid. I didn't know that. I mean, I played with my Barbie dolls. I had Barbies, but this wasn't my favorite toy. It's not like the cherish thing. So I was kind of surprised she kept it. But she kept it and she pulled it out and she gave it to my daughter. And my daughter opened up the box. And now all of a sudden I'm seeing all these Barbie dolls that I'm like, oh yeah, I did spend some time playing with Barbies. I got all my clothes. I got some awesome Barbie clothes from the 80s. I've got there's 6 different Barbies. Some of them still have heads. But I'm watching my daughter pull out the Barbies, and I instantly recognize my very favorite one because she's wearing a great dress. Some of the other ones are wearing some of the lesser clothes, but my favorite Barbie's wearing a great dress, and I see her there, and it's the 80s, so she's got the 80s blonde, long hair, and blue eyeshadow. She's tan, and I looked at her, and I immediately, when I saw her, thought to myself, that looks exactly like Ashley from Y&R. That's exactly what my first Ashley, Brenda Epperson, looked like. So there you go. That's probably the reason why I love the Brenda Epperson version of Ashley. She's my Barbie doll. Okay, well, I am annoyed that I didn't get to see the classic episode. I don't know. I should write a strongly worded letter. I will handwrite the letter, and I will pen the address on and mail it off to Paramount Plus and let them know my dissatisfaction. I looked all over the website too. If it's somewhere that I didn't see, maybe you guys could let me know. It's probably my fault at the end of the day, but it wasn't there where I always check, and I clicked around to see if it was on a different season anywhere else. I looked through all the flashback stuff, and it just wasn't there. So I had to make other viewing options that evening. I've been working on my 4-hour Peter Bogdanovich documentary about Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, which this is actually the second time I've seen it. I watched it maybe 10 years ago, and I just felt like now was the time. But it's hard to get through a 4-hour documentary, but it is a great one too. If you love, even if you don't, you love Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. You certainly do. So it's called Running Down a Dream. So that's what I watched instead of my classic episode of Y&R. So I guess in some ways I went back in time, which is all I ever really want to do. Oh. But, I feel like Y&R has to pick up here soon with some plot points. Maybe next week will be the week where all of this business stuff starts to shake out into something good. Because in the meantime, I have to say, the most interesting thing about Y&R for me right now, day in and day out, is Audra and Tucker. I'm all about Audra and Tucker. They are the ones to watch. And I hope we get to see more of them next week. Well, why don't you go to yrchat.com for more? There's lots there, lots of comments, lots of photos. Vote in the poll. Tell me where you want to work. What corporation do you want? If you have to work for an evil corporation in Genoa City, which one do you want to work for? Go ahead and cast your vote, and we'll tally it up next week, and we'll be back next Sunday to chat about the show. All right, you guys, I love ya. Have a good week. Bye.